Hi and welcome to Website Design. In our previous lesson we created a template website by using HTML and CSS. In today's lesson we're going to learn how to create a dynamic website. So if we go back to our previous example, we had 4 HTML pages: about, contact, index, packages, and if we compiled and run this in our browser, we had the header, we had the navigation bar, and our main body, and a footer. So if we clicked on home, about, it changed to about. If it changed to packages, and click on contact, and it changed to contact. But we also saw that in our home page, it looked exactly the same as our packages and contact and about. The only thing that changed was the main body each time. So in today's lesson, what we will do is we will make use of PHP. Now PHP is server-side programming, so it's not compiled and built in our browser, but it's on the server. So this will happen then in our on our web host, on our server of our web host. But we're going to utilize PHP and make this page dynamic, because only this part is changing for each page, for the home page, for the packages, for contact, and for about. So what we can do is we can make this a little bit more dynamic. So let's have a look at how we would do this. So what I'm going to do is in our demo website folder, I'm going to create a new folder called includes. Now inside this includes, I'm going to move all my pages into includes. Okay, I'm going to close all this. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to create 3 new HTML files. The one will be header.html. Then another one will be called footer.html, and another one will be called navbar.html. navbar.html. So what we will do is I'm going to open all these files in brackets again, and what I'm going to do is the following. Inside the header.html file, so this header is not the same as in our example the header of the page. This is now the header of the actual file. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to split this HTML file of our home page into a few pieces. Now what I'm going to do is, and just bear with me, this whole part here of my home page is going to be my header. So I'm going to take this out and I'm going to paste this into header. Okay, so my header will be the beginning of my website. Okay, then back to index. Then this part is going to be cut and pasted into my navbar.html file, navbar.html, and then back to my index.html, that's my home page. I'm going to take the last bit, and not the main body, just the last bit, and I'm going to paste this into my footer.html. Okay, so now effectively what I did was I created a main body, only a main body div tag for my home page. And then for packages, I'm just going to go and delete all the rest, but except for the main body. I'm going to save this. For the about page, exactly the same. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete all this and delete all this. I'm going to save this, and for the contact page as well. Okay, and save this. So what I effectively did is about, contact, packages, and my home page is only a div tag with class main body. Okay, I'm going to quickly close this home page. And what I'm going to do with the home page as well is I'm not going to call it index anymore, but I'm going to call it home.html. So now I can drag home back again here. Now home is my main body. So in my folder inside includes, I will then have about, contact, footer, header, home, navbar, and packages. That will be my HTML files. Now what I'm going to do is inside my main website folder, my demo website folder, I'm going to create a new file called index.php. And inside index.php is where I'm going to create my PHP coding. So I just want to quickly open my notes here, just to make sure that I'm doing the correct things. Okay, so let's get back to it. So index.php, I'm going to draw in here. So this will be my main file. Okay, so in index.php, I will create some PHP coding. And how we do this is by creating our PHP bracket, and then to close our PHP bracket as follows. Okay, so this is our PHP file now, and this file will build the actual website for us. Each page will be built inside this PHP file. So let's start to code and see how we would do this. Now what we will do is we will create a page variable, and in this page variable I'm going to say the following: get, and then page. Now what this variable is actually doing, it's getting a variable from the URL. Okay, so it's getting a variable from our URL. Now what do I mean with this? If we click to the navbar HTML file, you see we call index.html, about.html, packages.html, contact.html. Now what we actually now going to do is I'm going to change this, and I'm going to say it's going to be index.php. Okay, index.php, and then question mark. Now I'm going to do a question mark. Now after this question mark, sorry, I'm going to ask what's going to be this page. Now for the home page, I'm not going to give a variable there, but for the rest I'm going to do a variable. I'm going to send a variable. Now I will explain this, why I'm doing this specifically, not for the home page, a variable. So for the about page, I'm going to say page is equal to about, and then for the rest I'm going to do packages. Page is equal to packages, and then contact is going to be equal to contact. So the home page is not going to have a variable passed through the URL, but about, packages, and contact will have. Okay, so back to our index.php file. So what we're going to do is I'm going to do the following. I'm going to start to build my website as follows. I'm going to say include, okay, and I'm going to include oops, I'm going to include, I'm going to the folder include, sorry, and then I'm going to say header.html. So I'm including that header.html file. Okay. And then after that, I'm going to say include again. And then I'm going to include folder again, and I'm going to say include the navbar.html. And then after the navbar, I will include either the home, about, packages, or contact. And at the end, I will include the footer.html. Now I need to go and distinguish between which page now to include. So what I'm going to do is, this page variable is now going to help me to do this. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to say, is the page variable equal to, and I'm going to work from the back to the front. So contact, is the page variable equal to contact? And if it is, I'm going to include the contact page. Then after that, I'm going to then ask again, else if the page variable is equal to then packages. If yes, I'm going to now include the packages HTML. Then the same for about, and then lastly, I'm just going to use an else, and this will be my home. Okay, so I'm just going to add a text or a comment there, home, and then what I'm going to do is, I'm going to use an include at contacts. So I'm going to include contact. Okay, so contact there at my HTML contact, and then I'm going to do the same for packages. Just want to check packages, yes, and then the same for about, and lastly I'm going to include home.html. Now let's see, so the page variable is going to send a variable through the URL from the navbar. So if the user clicks on about, the about will be sent to that index.php, and the index.php will then go and determine if the about page is clicked, and if it is, then we will include the about page. Now the thing is, PHP is server-side programming, so we cannot simply run this just on our local, in our browser. We need a server. So what you can do is, we can go and create a local server running on our PC. That makes debugging very quickly and easy, but we can also go to our web host and go and upload all these files and see how it will run. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to go to my website. I'm going to manage my website. So I created a website in my websites in 000 web host. It's a free hosting site. So I go to manage, and then I go to upload files, and that's under my file manager. So if you go to tools, file manager, you go to upload files. So I've got it already open because it takes me sometimes a little bit of time to do this. And then inside, I need to log in again, and let's just go and do this maybe. So I need to, in any case, log in. Let's just give it a moment. Okay, and I'm in. Great. So inside public.html, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to now upload the following files. First of all, okay, I'm going to upload the index.php file. I'm going to upload that. Great. Okay, and it's there. Next up, I'm going to add a new folder, and this folder is going to be CSS. I'm going to create that folder, and inside CSS I will then paste my layout. I'm going to upload that back to my public.html. I'm going to create another new folder, and that folder, the name will be includes. So includes. I'm going to create that folder, and then inside that folder I'm going to upload all these files. Okay, and I'm going to upload each one of them. Okay, and if I did everything correctly, we will have now a dynamic website. Okay, so let's go to our quick actions, and I'm going to say view site. Okay, so we've got one error there. Okay, and there's another error. Warning, include footer.html file to OpenStream, no such file on 18. Okay, so first of all, this is more or less working. We've got packages and we've got content and contact. So there's two errors. This error that I will show you just now quickly how to solve this, and then let's quickly go to our file manager. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly open this, and this is a quick view. Okay, and this enables us to quickly view how to, or what's going on here. So as you can see here, I made a mistake. I just included footer.html, and I actually needed to say it's in the folder includes. So let's save that, save and close. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to refresh this website. So if I click on home, that error is still there. If I click on about, that's perfect. Packages are perfect. Contact is perfect. Now what I'm going to show you is the following. Okay, now if we click on home, we get this problem here. Undefined index page, public HTML index.php online 3, undefined index. Now what it actually is the following. So let's quickly, I'm just going to minimize this and go to my brackets again. In our navigation bar, we didn't give a variable there, like here, page is equal to about. But the reason why I didn't give a variable is the first time, if I quickly go back to my website, if I close this, the first time I view my website, the user has not yet clicked on any of these navigation buttons. So we cannot send a variable through on the first time. So we know that the first time the website is opened, it's going to open index.html or index.php. So it's going to search for a file called index, and it opens up that index. But the first time around, a user has not yet clicked on this. So we are sending variables through this navigation bar. So if you click on about, you can see there's now a variable sent through. But on home, we didn't send anything through. Okay. On the second try, if we click on home, we can actually call that file. But the first time, if I open it again, on the first time, you see there's no call there. And that's a problem. So how do we solve this? Now this is just the undefined index, and it's actually quite easy to solve. So we will quickly solve this inline by quickly editing our file on the server. And the easy way of quickly fixing this is page doesn't have a value when we go and test it. So we are trying to test page, but it doesn't have a value. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to set page to be equal to home. Just going to give it a value. And then what I'm going to say is I'm going to say if, okay, and then inside this if, I'm going to say if the page variable, or not the page variable, sorry, if the if a variable is set. Now, which variable? Variable that we will send through on the URL. So what I'm going to say is that set, and if it's set, okay, if it's actually set, we're going to do this. Okay, so we're going to change that page variable then to that variable. If there's a variable in the URL, so that is set, means if there's a variable in the URL, then we're going to set page to that get page variable that we actually sent. But if it's not, it's just going to stay home. And now the page variable will have a value. Okay, so now if we save and close this, we close that website there, and we're going to view our website again. What will happen is that variable will be gone, or that problem, and now we can go and click, and our website is perfect. Our template website with dynamic main bodies is working perfectly. And that's it. That's how we create a dynamic website using PHP programming and our web host. So remember, PHP is server-side programming, and that's how we upload everything to our web host and create a dynamic website. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you soon.